I know you.
Hey.
Yeah, I saw you this morning.
Good to see you, Bill.
How are you guys? Ladies, gentlemen, let's do a quick roll call. I will not remember your name until the very end of the 5 weeks. Kathy. Kathy was here this morning, right? You were not here this morning, all right. Kim.
Right here.
Ann.
Here.
How are you, Ann?
Good.
Ann wins. First of all, this is what pickleball is about.
Yes.
All right? I teach from 8-year-olds to Ann. All right?
That's right. Inspiration.
I love it.
We love it.
I'm not going to say, but you're just a touch older than me. You win. I'm so glad you're out here.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Yo.
Kevin from this morning. Molly. Patricia.
Patty?
Patty.
What is that?
Patty. Debbie. Doug. Julie. Tammy. Carol. Diane. Dee. And Kathy.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I will not remember that until about the 4th week. All right. I'm Bill. Have any of you played with me before? Where do you guys normally play? Right here. All right. We are not beginners. I've seen some of you already play. All right. Real quick, I'm going to give you the 3-second or 3-minute Bill Taylor program. All right. Competitive tennis player in a much earlier life. Started playing tournaments when I was 12, 14. Played tennis through college. Then got a real job and raised 10 kids. And always was playing tennis in the middle of everything, semi-competitively, but I had a real job for quite some time. 2014, I was working on a PhD dissertation at West Virginia University. And has anybody here heard the term Club Fed? You haven't ever heard that? Club Fed is the very low-level federal penitentiaries for generally white-collar criminals and nonviolent, quote, nonviolent drug dealers. I was doing my dissertation on crisis decision-making, suppression of intuition, and I was interviewing white-collar criminals at Club Fed as part of it. And they were out there playing a game that I really thought they had made up. All right, because I'm a tennis player, right? And I saw them out there with wooden paddles. All right, and the reason they call it Club Fed, if you've ever seen like the 60-minute deal, is this really is. It was a John F. Kennedy boys camp that they turned into a federal prison. There's no gates, there's no walls, there's no razor or anything, there's no guard towers. It is a camp in the middle of the woods in West Virginia that's where the white-collar criminals. Martha Stewart, that's where she went. All right? They have tennis courts, they have swimming pool, they have, I don't know why they don't just make them keep working and pay, but anyway, again, different thing. Finished my dissertation. They actually let me go out and play with these guys, and I really, even then, they called it pickleball, but it was not the game that I play now, but it was played on this size court, and it was played very similar, to be honest with you, with how I saw play this morning here. Serve, return, badminton. All right, that's what I call it. That mid-level, intermediate level pickleball becomes how hard can I hit it program. Came back to Ohio after I finished that, playing tennis again because I didn't think that was a real game. And if anybody has been to Scarborough East, anybody played tennis at Scarborough East? Very similar building. They have tarps along the wall. The tarps are hiding those posts. I go for a ball and I do this and I snap my wrist off. This is 2013. I cannot lift anything, let alone a tennis racket. As I started getting better, there's a scaphoid. Any doctors in here? A lot of doctors play pickleball. There's a scaphoid bone that doesn't get much blood flow, so I never really got it back. But I couldn't, and I've only since then. This is 2013. I probably have only played tennis like 10 or 11 times since then. I started playing pickleball, and for some reason I was pretty good at it. And the paddle is, a pound lighter, and it started to take off at the same time. So 2014 on, I have played in over 100 tournaments. I've won probably 70 of them. I went through the ranks from, 3-0 was really where I started and had to move out of that quickly. And I've played now multiple 5-0 and pro tournaments. I do not sell anything. You will see Selkirk all over me. Two things I will tell you quickly is all of the money that you paid for this goes to a nonprofit to get kids into the game. That's what Ninja Pickleball is about. We're a 501c. I do get paid reasonably well from Selkirk every time I'm wearing their stuff, whether it's at a tournament or a thing like this. So we will have, before we're done, will be a group picture, and they pay me more than you paid to be here for that. So they want to sell paddles. They do not have paddle reps like a lot of companies. They're a U.S. company, and they believe that if you play with their stuff, you'll end up buying it. So that's why I'm here, aside from getting the game going. The only sales pitch that's going on is I am the head pro currently at Lifetime. That is Lifetime Fitness. That is soon going to change because we are opening a 17-court indoor facility in Worthington. We'll have one here and one in Cleveland. If you know where the old Columbus Play C-Bus, if you go down 23, there is a Roadrunner sports shoe store. There's 60,000 square feet in there. There's a bar and a restaurant. They had ninja rope courses that none of us were going to get on. You were not getting on a ninja rope course, but you can get on a pickleball court. All the ninja stuff is coming out right now. Before the end of March, we'll be open with 17 indoor courts.
Is it part of Lifetime?
It is not a part of Lifetime. It's actually me and one other partner are opening it, and one in Cleveland. Lifetime does a great job. They have 6 indoor courts at Easton. They have 3 at Dublin. They do a great job. They've built 600 courts. They've had 400 more coming this year. Depending on how you feel about the paying for a lifetime membership just to play pickleball. I love them. They're great people. I think our facility is going to be pickleball centric and going to be a little less expensive. But rec centers all over the country. I know Hilliard is spending a good amount of money to get you 9 indoor courts here sometime in the near future. I think they broke ground, right?
Yeah.
All right. So unlike the group that was here a minute ago that had never played pickleball, before I have you jump out on the court, I did like to get a rough idea of kind of how long you've been playing, and I'm going to try to remember your name before I get done with the 5 weeks we're going to do in here. So if you just go around and tell me how long you've been playing and kind of what got you into it briefly.
Year and a half.
Your name.
Doug.
Okay, because I'm going to remember 2 of them today. Doug.
A year and a half, and my wife got me into it.
All right.
Tammy, about a year, and just I play tennis and looking for something.
I saw that this morning.
Patty, also a tennis player, and just had a shoulder injury, so.
Love it.
Julie, year and a half. Just saw the game when you play it.
Debbie, 2 years. I retired. Was something I wanted to do.
Kim, about a year. Just to do.
T, about a year and a half, trying to learn something I can do.
How many of you got into it because COVID hit and you were allowed to do it? The game really exploded when COVID hit because we were allowed, because we were 6 feet apart from each other, right? We were allowed to.
Outside.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us olders would not consider going inside. for any-
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Carol, about a year. Just I really wanted something different. Played a lot of racquetball when I was young, and I wanted something that I could do now.
All right.
I have laryngitis.
Okay.
Yes, same as
Gotcha.
I'm Ann, and I've played about 8 years. And I was playing tennis before and got too old for that.
Beautiful.
Molly, I think we played about 3 years.
Kevin, with her.
With her,
Kathy.
Kathy.
About 1 year. What was the other thing?
Kind of why?
How did I get in? Oh, my friend, my son, my husband, they all told me I should play pickleball.
All right. I like it. I'd like to do this. Those of you who I haven't seen play at all, I'd like you guys to jump on the court and play a game to 5. Gives me a rough idea of kind of what I'm dealing with. If you don't mind, those of you that I saw this morning, if you guys would sit out the first one, let the other folks play before we get into actual lesson. The general synopsis, because we have 5 weeks, are any of you also in the Friday group? All right, so I know that we're not going to be together next Monday because of the holiday. So I'm gonna give you some high-level basics today. Today's the day we won't be on the court as much as you're gonna want to be. It's gonna be a little more talking today, and then really working on the drills and everything the next 4 lessons. All right, we will be on the court, but today I really want to get an idea of kind of where everybody is. I may end up splitting people into certain groups to work on certain skills once I see kind of where everybody's at. So let's do, I have seen you play this morning, if you wouldn't mind hanging out. You 4 jump in here, literally just play a game to 5. Okay. If you 4 play a game to 5, and then once they get to 5, I'll have you guys all jump on the court as well. No.
Are you with us, Eric? I'm just watching. You're just watching.
Here you go. I came a little early and to kind of get an idea what was going on, and played a couple of quick games. All right, the first thing I'm going to say is you should not always listen to what I say, all right, because the first thing that should have happened is you should have warmed up. All right, and I am going to tell you that going to the dinking line and dinking and then never dinking again is not really a warm-up. What I'm talking about, especially at our age, of actually stretching, some dynamic stretching. So while I'm not going to force you to do it today, I will ask you when we come to get together the next time that we get here 5 minutes early and actually stress out our muscles. If somebody had a shoulder injury I already know about, all right, I have 2 brand new knees. One of them's only 5 months old. So PT, stretching, all the things we can do to keep us on the court and not at the PT place or on our couches is helpful at our age. We're up here playing at 90 because we're trying to stay healthy, right? Okay, so when you go to play, add to your game a little dynamic stretching before you go out there and just dink for 3 minutes and then jump into playing, all right? With that in mind, you can dink for a minute and then start playing, all right? Here you go. Is that 5? Ann? Remind me? Kathy? You guys jump out and play a quick game to 5.
Do you want us to warm up a little bit?
I would like you to warm up a little bit. Gotcha. Here you go, one more. All right. All right, let's talk a minute. If I was to ask a couple of you what you want to get out of this class, what would you say? Raise your hand first. Go ahead, Ann.
Strategy.
Gotcha.
Backhand.
Okay.
Not hitting so hard rather than.
All right.
Consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those are important. Here, this is a intermediate to advanced class, so I don't want to say anything to offend anybody because every mistake I'm going to tell you about is a mistake that I make in every single game. All right? First thing, again, the first week you need to figure out, A, if you like me as a coach. All right? I am not here to change your game. I am here to take what you are not doing well and add that to what you already do well. I will tell you from coming over here this morning, I see a lot of what I see in this intermediate play, which is number one, is everybody's having a pretty good time. All right? Anytime I take that away from somebody, I failed. So I don't want to take that away from you. You also would not be here and giving any amount of money to anybody if you didn't want to do something to make yourself a little bit better in this sport. All right? What I see most of the time at this level is serve return badminton. All right? That's what I call it. Because we serve and we let it bounce, we return, we let it bounce, and then the next time the ball bounces, generally the point's over. All right? So I want to add a couple of things to your game to where it's not serve, return, badminton. All right? The first thing for the first day, first lesson, I'm going to start at serve and return. All right? What I generally see is most of everything I saw this morning out of this group and then what I saw from you guys, I don't see really any blatantly illegal serves, all right, which is good, all right, because you've all played against that guy that's got an illegal serve and we really can't say anything about it because the remedy to an illegal serve for rec play is nothing. You know, I mean, it really is, the rule book says, you know, if someone does one of the multiple illegal things, it's not even a replay. There's nothing you can do about it. So I call them hero shots. All right? I let people have their hero shots. All right? I'm going to try to teach you what I call 51% pickleball. If you're playing competitive pickleball, well, all four people on the court are generally equal. Generally, you're going to find the scores being 11-7, 11-8, 11-9 even, maybe a 13-11 game every once in a while. What I would like to do in the next 5 weeks is turn those from you having the 9 or the 7 to you having the 11. All right? Does that make sense? All right? All of us have some strong shots that we're good at. It comes from whatever sport brought us here. If we're a tennis player, I can guarantee you all my tennis players have a really good cross-court forehand. All right? I love playing tennis players because I know where the ball's going and I'm going to be up at the net and I'm taking it right out of the air and putting it away. All right? My ping pong players put a lot of spin on it. All right? I'm really good about telling my partner spin, spin, spin so they can think about that. I do teach at this level a lot of the mental portion of the game. The first story about the mental portion of the game is raise your hand if you've ever forgotten the score. Okay? All right? Again, Psychologist. All right, here's why we forget the score. Our frontal lobe can only remember 7 to 9 things unless you're some brilliant person. Maybe you get to 11. All right? It has to go through another section of our limbic system to get to our rational brain for us to remember it. We generally forget the score after a really good point. You know, I went this way, you went that way, she came around, it hit the net, I saved it, we went over here, all of a sudden, what's the score? We don't know. Because it never got in there. All right? That's an important thing to remember, because until we can slow the game down and start using the rational portion of our brain, we're going to be playing serve return badminton. All right? How many of you have ever taught a child to drive? I tell this story all the time. All right? All right? I also have taught people to fly. It's the same thing for an adult that it is for a child. When they first get in the airplane or your child first gets in the car, they're at the steering wheel and they're driving like this, right? They're watching the speedometer, and every turn and everything is a jerky motion. Every sport, including pickleball, is exactly that same thing. If you're playing in the 3-foot circle around you, you are only reacting to the ball. That cuts down on the amount of time we have to make a decision. As soon as we get our child to realize that their driving really needs to happen, you know, 1/8 of a mile down the road, and things start to smooth out because they're anticipating the turn. They're starting to see what's happening. You know, they see the lights going to turn yellow and they stop instead of running through it. Okay? Same thing in pickleball. If I can get you to start realizing that your decision happens when the other person hits the ball, not when it's to you, the game will slow down for you. You'll be able to be in position to hit a ball. All right? If I put all of you out here, and I do it with my beginners, I put them out there and I make them hit a bunch of different balls. If I put you out there, this group can hit a backhand, a forehand, a volley, an overhead smash, and a ball at the net. Am I wrong? Most of you can do that. Some of you would like to have one of the two of those shots better, but you can generally hit those balls. If I can get you to get ready to hit that ball first, then you start deciding where I'm going to hit my ball. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right? So we're going to get out of our reactionary brain and start thinking about every shot that we do. This week we're going to start on serve and return. A lot of what I'm going to tell you is going to be counterintuitive with what you're already doing. If I ask you, and remind me your name again. Kathy, I just want you and Molly to set up for a return of serve. All right? Right here. All right? First thing I'm going to say is everybody has a comfort level. You will see me a lot of times just tell you very vague instructions. Go set up for a return. All right? If I served right now and that ball hit that line, what would you have to do? You would have to back up. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is on your serve and on your return to take one full step farther back than you're comfortable with. Okay? At this level, if I'm not wrong, our goal should be to get here. All right? I'm going to pick on you this whole time, this whole 5 weeks. It's Ann, right? I can guarantee you my tournament partner is 4'9". She's left-handed and she's 4'9". It is 5 steps for her to get from this line to that line. I am 6'3". Now I'm only 6'2". All right, we've all shrunk a little bit. It's also only 5 steps for me to get from this line to that line. If you are not getting to the line, it's not because you can't. It's not because you're over 55. It's because you have decided not to. All right? If I brought a ball machine in, and I do this a lot in my private lessons, I set a ball machine up and I have it shoot the same ball to land in about a second third of the court here. From behind the line, you can put that ball wherever you want it. From the kitchen line, which I also should do 10 push-ups because it is not the kitchen, it is the non-volley zone. From the non-volley zone line, you can put that ball away. From right here in this 3 to 4 foot section in the middle is the hardest shot in pickleball. And I will tell you, try not to even be there to even hit it. Because most of these balls are down here, you're doing a half volley, and the only thing you can do with it is pop it up. So why do we get in that position? Because we decide to. We decide to because we don't set ourselves up to get all the way forward. All right, today's lesson is, how do we get forward? We get forward by backing up. The fact that now I have backed up, there's only two things that I can do. If, the first question you guys would give me, what if they serve short? I say, I thank them very much. Because if they serve short, I'm running up here and I'm getting that ball, and my momentum is going to carry me the rest of the way to this line. All right? The issue is everybody stands on this line, and what if they happen to serve long? I've got to then back up, and my 5 steps now becomes 8. And it probably becomes more than that because the first 2 steps being backwards, my momentum, my own body weight is forcing me back. I've got to stop, arrest that motion, and then move forward. I am not going to make it to the non-volley zone line. Our goal should be to get to that line and never retreat from it. Okay? Does that make any sense? If you back up a full step and that ball hits the line, you can take the full swing that you already know how to do at that ball. It is not a half volley because it's hitting right here. It is an actual swing that you can decide where to put it. Does that make sense to everybody? I would like to have 2 people volunteer for me. I'm going to start with you 2. We're going to go out down the line. All right? I'm going to have you guys go over there, and literally I just want you to serve and play out 2 points. I want you guys to start back. All right? Since you're returning, you get to be all the way up here. Before you serve, I'm going to ask a question. Another quick question. And today, believe me, we will be on the court a lot more the rest of the lessons than today. What is this line for? This line down the middle. Thank you. Does anybody think it's anything other than to see where the serve is? All right? There is no your side and my side in pickleball. This line is only there to tell you whether the serve's in or out. That's going to become important as we go through these lessons. Okay? All right. All right, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Jump over here. I want you to do the exact same thing. All right, I'm going to do 2 things. First name again?
Molly.
Molly, I want to have you come over here. I'm going to have you stay right here.
All right.
Okay, you win that one. All right? That's a hero serve. I love it. All right? Stop. Where are you 2 at?
In the back,
Where are we at?
up in front.
Who's going to win this point?
Well, you are generally, yes.
Am I wrong? Who's going to win this point? All right? She's already here. I returned. I didn't hit a hard cross-court return. I returned as deep as I possibly could to the middle, and both of them had to decide who was going to hit it, and they both stayed back there. She hit a line drive that would have went, if I hit it out, it would have been out. But that ball gets crushed. All right? The first one, just 1 second. The first one, when she hit a nice return, and she stood here and watched that nice return. And then you move forward about 2 or 3 steps. You hit another nice shot, and then you kept coming, and they did stay back there, and then you ended up almost getting all the way up to the line. I want to take those 2 middle shots away from there, because as soon as you get to that front line, you are completely in control of the point.
And I know that in my head. I tell myself, don't hit it hard and low that first time because that doesn't give you time to get up.
And the reason you do it is you were a tennis player, right?
Yep.
I can tell that. That's the natural shot. But by slowing that ball down on your return of serve gives me more time. You need time to get to the line, don't you?
Right.
You hit a hard cross court, you're not getting to the back line. All right? I need to get you all the way up there. You hit a nice slow lob, you can walk to the line. Yes, ma'am.
I need clarification. Are you saying serve and go up, not serve and stay?
Serve, return.
Yes.
Return is going up. You have to stay the server has to stay back. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, serve and stay absolutely works. All right, I'm going to add to that though. If I'm the server, this is the second part of this lesson. Let's get past this one, then I'm going to go to there. All right, if you take the time to think about what I want out of my shot, all right, I want to be in a position to win the point. I am not going to ace anybody regularly. Does anybody have a serve that aces regularly in this game? I mean, you've got a good serve. I saw it this morning. But you're not acing anybody. They get it back. All right. I'm generally not going to win the point on my return. All right. I'm just getting it back. So if I want to use my return to help me win the point, I want to cause confusion on their side. All right. So this goes to serve and stay. If I'm the server and I serve to her partner, you come on up. What's your first name again? Let me have the ball just for a second. All right, we're serving. Come back. There are 3 shots in pickleball that you have complete control over. There's only 3 shots you have control over. You can control your serve. Why? Because it has to bounce. I can serve hard and fast and give myself no time to get up there. All right? I can serve deep and slow, as deep as I possibly can to force her back as far as possible. I'm in control of that shot. I can go to her forehand. I can go to her backhand. All right? I tend to tell people go to their body. All right? We'll talk about that a little bit more the next lesson, but everybody has a forehand. Most people have a decent backhand at this level. This ball right here at my feet, that's not a shot. That's defense only. So I tend to serve at people's body because I don't want them positioning that next ball. I'm the server. All right, we just talked about staying back a little bit so I can move forward. All right, the next thing that happens after I serve is I am not in the offensive position because first name, Kim, is at the line. Am I going to hit a line drive at her? Most of what I saw this morning is exactly what happens. We're hitting line drives, right? But I'm probably not going to even try to hit it to Kim, right? Why am I not hitting it to her? She's at the line. So I want to hit it to Tammy. But what if Tammy hits that slow, deep lob return to me? Where's Tammy now? You just hit a nice slow return right to here. Where are you going to be at? Well, let's go. All right, now the ball's coming back here and it's bouncing it, and I've got to wait for it to bounce to hit. I look up, I've got 2 people at the line. Right now, what is happening in 80% of the pickleball courts in the world is I'm hitting a line drive and one of them is smacking it. All right, and both of us are standing back here. All right, here's what happens next. When Tammy returns the ball, if I'm not playing in this 3-foot circle around myself, I see how she's hitting it. If Tammy is a tennis player, where's the ball going? It's going cross court over here. Then why is she still standing here most of the time when that ball's coming cross court? All right? I'm not picking on you. I'm picking on every player, including myself, until I started to learn that there was a difference. As soon as I start thinking, wait, I know Tammy's a tennis player. You may not be. But I know if I get a tennis player over there, ball's coming cross court, as soon as she touches it, this person is at the line. She leaves immediately. And she gets up here. Because now, she's up here and she's up here. It's getting closer to being an even game. When I see how my opponent hits the return, the number one thing I want to teach you is communication. One person on this court has to be talking to the other one. As soon as she hits it, I'm either saying you or me every single time. A couple of you played with this morning. I played with you this morning. Did you notice me saying you? All right. When I jumped in this morning, most of the balls didn't come to me. But I did say you every single time the ball went to somebody else. That way they knew what was happening. So if I see Tammy hit it and I see the ball going to her, I go you, and I've already left my spot, and I'm getting up here to get even with them. All right? Yay! Now it becomes your partner's job to get with me. All right? I teach, and people teach different ways. I teach that until you're together at the line, the non-volley zone line, you don't have to be together. Once you do get to the line, you are connected at the hip. If you have to go back, you're both going back. If you have to go side to side, you have to go side to side together. Does that make sense? But until you get there, it's their job to get to you. So I serve to Tammy. She returns to Molly. I get up here. Tammy did a great return, right? It was really deep. It's 2 against 1. What's your job right now?
Drop it in the kitchen.
Your job is to drop it in the kitchen. How often do you do that?
Depends on how good or strong.
Yes, right. Right? And again, at this level, we know that really is the shot we should hit. But what really starts to happen is right now, she hits a hard ball. They hit it back hard. I saw a lot of really good play this morning. I really did. There was a lot of half volleys from this transition zone. You picked up 6, 7 balls right here. Those are great shots. Those are hero shots. If you've got to be hitting a hero shot every single time, you are not playing the game the way that you could. The fact that you've got that shot, you're ahead of everybody else. That same ball you hit here, from down here, that half volley, if you were standing here, that ball is this high and you put it away.
Can I ask a question? If the ball, when you return the ball like you did to us, and it's coming down the tee,
Yep.
right? Who goes? Because should it be forehand that takes it, and the
I was waiting for that question. All right? I invite you to have multiple teachers. Some people teach the X. Some people teach you forehand goes. I teach whoever is in the best position should hit the ball. All right? Most of the time, in 51% pickleball, it's the forehand. You know, it really, truly is. There are times when I may have a partner that their backhand is better than their forehand. And it may be their backhand is better than my forehand. You know, whoever's in the best position should take that ball. The communication of when we start playing, especially when we play in rec play like this morning, you guys were, you know, like every place else, couple paddles, who's up there? You know, at the beginning of the game, did we go to Molly and say, Molly, you know, you're taking the forehands. You know, take the forehands. All right, and it's not just this forehand. Molly should be taking this forehand because I want to get up there. So if it's coming across and it is Molly's forehand, and I know Molly's mobile enough to take 2 side steps, I give her a third of, quote, my court because the forehand's going to generally be a better controlled shot. Does that make sense? The big thing is whoever calls it should take it. That's where communication comes in. If you're not talking to each other, what will generally happen is we're both back here waiting. I'm waiting for Molly to hit it. And then when she does hit it, we look up and you both are at the line. Now we get into that battle and we got to work our way up to there. So as soon as she hits it, I say you, and I'm gone. She knows it's hers. No decision to be made. I'm out of her way. Right? If it's coming cross court to me, she should say, or I say me, she shouldn't wait. She's already up there. The only time there's indecision is when we're both in the same spot and we both could take it. And that means we were not playing the ball off of your paddle. It means we were waiting till it got here. Your game will change if you stop waiting and start making a decision before the ball gets on your side of the court. Does that make sense? Yes, ma'am.
So you, even if your partner tends to be a person who naturally wants to stay back, you still want to go forward.
I
You
do.
don't want to stay with your partner.
I do. And here's why. And there will be those people that you will play with that want to stay back. And people may accuse me. I am not a 90% court player. I really am not. I love playing, but I'm not the guy that's going to jump in front of you every single time if you're up there with me. If you are still back here on this line and I'm up here, which you're going to find where I go, up here, and that ball floats, I'm not waiting for it. I'm stepping over here and I am taking that ball. The best way to get your partner to get up there is have them want to hit the ball. Right? And if you are reaching over, especially with your forehand side, you're not even really, and again, you will hear this from a lot of players, and mostly beginners, you're on my side. There is no my side. All right? The difference between here and here is I can get to about 80% of the court. Molly's tall. She can get to about 80% of the court from there. You stand back there and that ball floats, I'm putting it, I want to win. You guys wouldn't be here if you didn't want to win the point. Step over and hit that ball. Your opponent, your partner will start to get it. All right? I have a lady I play with who is a very good tennis player. She still plays tennis, and she only hits cross-court forehands. We do shake and bake every play. I know where she's going to hit it. She's going to hit it that side. She knows I'm going to crash. Most of the time, the only thing she's going to be able to do with that ball is come back with it. She hits the low hip forehand. I come over here, I put the next one away. Played in the qualifier for the Arnold 3 weeks ago. All 4 or 5 plus players. They were timing the games to see how long it was going to take to run the Arnold because the Arnold's still in a small spot, playing at Pickle Shack. The next 5 years, it'll be at our spot. But the average game was lasting 23, 24 minutes. My game with my partner were lasting 16. My partner is a D1 tennis player. He's 24. He hits the ball hard. He doesn't have a kitchen game. All right, I need to do 10 push-ups. Doesn't have a non-volley zone game. All right, but he can hit the ball hard, dead center, every time. I let him take 90% of the returns, and I crash the line. He hits it. It becomes a rebound. The next one goes away. Shortens the point. Until you can get comfortable with your partner, you've got to decide what makes sense. All right, I'm probably going to play different with Ann than I play with Molly. All right, the general idea is going to be for us to get to that line. If I started you right now, and I'm going to ask everybody to get their paddles because I've been talking for too long, is if I started the game, and that's what we're going to do, with 2 people at the line and 2 people back, who's going to win? Hopefully the people up. All right, I want to do that just for a little bit to get into our minds, start realizing that the people up are going to have the advantage. So let's have Molly, Kevin, start a game here. I'm going to have Ann, Carol, start over there. You guys get to be at the line. I'm going to have you 2 start back.
We're being at the line at the serve.
Yep. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. So here's how this is going to go. I need a ball. Let me see your ball.
So one question I have is a lot of people will put spin on it, and it looks like I've had it where it looks like it's coming to me, and all of a sudden I'm calling it, and then all of a sudden it's like way out of my reach, and it's over towards my partner. How do you it takes that big white curve, and I'm like, oh.
There are times in 51% that you're going to miss a ball. Yeah, and again, it's a hero shot. Let the hero shots go.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, let them win those. All right, so here's how this drill goes. People on this side are all-time servers. You're serving a cooperative shot. I'm not trying to ace him. I'm just going to put it in play. That's when the point starts. Okay? I'm just putting it in play, and that's when the point starts.
And we're just staying up.
You're staying. After you serve it, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you that. Slide up here. All right. So yeah, as soon as I serve, now she knows I'm going to serve to him. So what should Molly do? All right. I'm going to tell you what Molly didn't do. I'm picking on Molly right now. Molly didn't listen to the first thing I said today. Molly went right to where she's super comfortable, which is literally standing on the line. Right? You did the same thing. You're standing right on the line. Take a step back. All right. I am not going to drop it right here. So I'm going to cooperatively serve it to you. All right. So I'm going to do that. Now the point started. All right. That's a great shot. As long as you make it go in. Let's do that again one more time. If it goes there, I'll slide out just for a second. All right. These should be easy to get back too, right? I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be comfortable with what you're doing. All right? Does that make sense? You're just going to gently serve it to her and play out that point. If he puts it in the air, put it away.
Okay.
All right? We until our brain processes that this is not a winning strategy. All right? I'm waiting for the question. I'm waiting for the question.
She should be up anyway if we're serving.
Yeah. The game scenario right now is they served. This is really their return of serve. Okay? Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So as soon as she hits it, that's her return. Then you should go. All right, go ahead. What we're going to find just let her serve. Stay in the same spot and let her serve. And come on back up. Okay. You guys have to be all the way back.
Oh, we have to switch.
Don't switch. Don't switch. You guys are going to stay out up the whole time.
Okay, we switch.
All right. I'm perfectly fine with it. You put it right where you needed to put. That ball that came to you, instead of letting that one bounce,
I'm listening.
if instead of stepping back and letting it bounce and being back here and setting her up for the next shot,
The one that you got me there or the one before it?
the one before,
Okay.
you could have just taken that ball out of the air.
Okay. I'll try that.
All right.
But I was afraid that I would,
Don't be afraid.
but I have a tendency to.
That's fine. All right, I'm going to switch you two out for a second. I need two more to jump in over here. Okay, so the scenario is that this really is a return of serve. All right, so the fact when this bounced, the ball's free. Okay, this is just a scenario where they served, this is your return, you guys happen to get up here. What I'm trying to get you guys to understand is once you're up here, you should be in control at that point. All right? All right, so I'm going to pick on Ann over here for a second. Ann is 90 years old, right? And she's standing here at the line winning points against someone who is not 90 years old because she's at the line, the ball's up here, and Ann's just putting it away. Right? If you want to win that rally, what should you do? You should put it in front of her. Put that ball into the non-volley zone and make her pop it up at you. Will make all the difference in the world because, again, at 90 years old, she can put this ball away. My 10-year-old kids that play can put this ball away. We want to put a ball in a position where it can't be attacked by anybody. This ball gets attacked. The ball that bounces is a ball that you're in control over. She's got to now put that ball somewhere where you can't attack it. You're putting all what's happening in this general area and this level of play is where the winner is the one that can defend the most attacks. instead of the one who's making the other side make mistakes?
What about a lob at that point?
That's a question I was waiting for over here. Jump over here, all right? And I would love for us to have 3 hours every time and go through this whole thing, because I know you guys are much better players than this first time. The next question happens, well, if we're both at the line, right? What happens? Because they're going to lob us, all right? This becomes, well, I talk about the hero shot, okay? Let people have their hero shots. I will, before we're done, we'll talk about, and I'll show you how to defend lobs. There are shots that we cannot get to. It could be a lob. It could be a fantastic serve that hits way up here, hits this spot right here and goes out, all right? It could be a shot down the line, because you got players that go for the line a lot, right? How many of you play against that guy that goes for the line? The hero shots do not win games. They win rallies every once in a while. Until I have, and this morning, I did see one player here this morning that I would defend differently than what I'm teaching you. At Lifetime, out of the 2,000 people that play every month at Lifetime, there's one guy, his name's Bobby Demoski. He was a tennis coach for 35 years. He's the only person in that building that every time he hits a lob, it's in. So I play differently against him. There's a gentleman this morning that played the lob consistently. I got to play a little different against him. The other 99% of the people who are here, let him hit the lob. How often is that lob in? Right? I guarantee you, Ann, I'm not telling you to go back for a lob. Right? I'm not. You know, I'm going back for a lob if I think it's going in. I will talk about a lob. I'm off topic by 2 lessons, but all right, here's the other ball I don't want you doing. I don't want you going, even if you do it right, I don't want you taking a split step, going back, and taking this lob out of the air. Here's why. If you can get from here to here, and it's a lob, you can get from there to here. All right? What's the first thing that has to happen if I go back here and let that ball bounce? It has to be in. If it's not in, what happens? I won. If it's in and I'm back here and it bounces, it's not hip here. How many times we went for this shot and it hits the wall because we broke our wrist and we went straight at it? Right? Our brain loves when we hit an overhead winner. They don't add up the 5 or 6 times we hit the wall back there with it, or we missed the line by 1.5 feet or 2 inches. We let that lob bounce.
Really?
Yeah. Now again, there's a difference between a lob and an overhead. If I'm standing here and she pops one to here that I can just put away, I put it away. But if it really is over my head to where I have to start moving to get it, I'm moving all the way. Because if that ball bounces out, I won the point already. If it bounces, then I just hit my shot. Again, 51% pickleball. If they hit the hero shot and it bounces in, I still hit it. All right? I guarantee you, if you stood here most of the days and let most of those balls go, and we have an entire lesson, the third lesson is simply about not hitting balls. Okay? It's literally about letting them go. It's the number one thing that I teach. You will win more games at the level that was being played this morning. There would be more games won by people not hitting balls than me teaching you any shot that I could possibly teach you. Because we want to hit, throw me a ball just for a second. We're going to go a little long. All right, 2 questions. Tammy, yes. Come over here. All right? You're standing right here. Actually, stand over here.
Over on this side?
Nope, right there.
Oh, right there? Okay.
Would you hit this ball?
Yes.
All right, come back here. Would you hit this ball?
No,
Why not?
because it's going to trajectory down out.
Why did you hit this ball?
Because I've got right here, it's at my angle and a good shot.
But it's the same ball, right?
No, but it's in the court.
Okay. How do you know this ball is in the court?
How do I know? Because the trajectory is going to land right about middle.
All right. If you're watching this trajectory and you are watching what came off of there, I would say she's right. I would say it depends
it's
Not
over
on,
here.
not on the ball being here, it's where this ball came from. Because if this ball came from a half volley from down there, which we're going to talk about red, yellow, and green zones next week, 2 weeks. If it came from her red zone, which is down and it's upward trajectory,
Yep.
hardest ball in pickleball right there is not to hit it. Because that ball came from an upward trajectory, it's only got to travel 15 feet, and it's going to be out. And we all hit it. The people who win at a higher level, where you guys want to be at, let that ball go. I have a hard time letting it go. All right? Same ball. It's here. Do you hit it? You're
Depends on
thinking about it.
Depends on how she hit it.
All right? If it's
she
coming
hit
from
that-
that direction, it only has 1.5 feet to travel and it's out. And again, most of us hit that ball. When we start thinking about where the ball came from and deciding to or not to hit it, we start winning more rallies. And again, all of you have every shot on the court. I've seen it this morning. When you start thinking, should I take the shot? It starts to make a difference between an 11-7, 11-8 game to you getting those 2 or 3. If you watch a pro game and actually do stats on it, the team that wins is the team that makes 3 less mistakes, and most of those mistakes are hitting balls that would have been out. It's a huge difference in your game. Slowing these balls down, which we're going to work on, learning that really that third shot drop that the two of you did really great when you were thinking about it here. I didn't see as much of that this morning because when you start playing against people that are banging back and forth, you get into banging back and forth. But when you thought about it, the two of you dropped almost every single ball. You got up here and won more than half of those points. Starting to let that ball that gets getting smacked go becomes a winning strategy. All right? It forces your opponent to rethink their game. The guy that wants to hit the hero shot is the guy that's going for that line and that line and that line and that line. When they hit it, it's a winner. The 4 times they don't, you won. So I'm going to pressure you to start thinking about hitting 80% of your balls in the middle. All right? If we start going for the line, our opponents start doing this. You start scooching that way. The middle opens up. Right? You start hitting middle, we come here. Generally what happens, we start working the middle. Now, we don't have to hit the line. We have to hit this area. We start playing a little more mental game of forcing our opponents to get to a spot for us to take, not a hero shot. A ball that hits here is high percentage. If I'm over here because you kept going middle, and now you got one to my backhand, you don't have to hit the line. You got a lot more room to miss. So that's one of the things we'll work on is how to get your opponents out of position and how for you to always stay in position. All right? The last thing I'm going to talk about, the other hero shot I'm going to talk about, when I tell people that the position that we should be in, put your backhand out there. You're righty. Come closer. That's the position at the beginning of the game we should be in. We should overlap the middle. The next question I normally get is, well, what when they go down the line? If they do it more than once, I start to adjust. If they do it once, it's a hero shot. I let them have it. Most people cannot hit that line. And it's only one of them, only one of them's the issue. If I'm standing here, she's coming over here, that's her forehand. This line is the most accurate one that she could maybe get. She's not hitting that line. She has to come clear across both of us for the ball to come across here. What are you going to do with this ball? You're going to smack it.
Yep.
Right? She's only got 1/10 of the court to hit. This line, if she hits it more than once, I'll start adjusting. But at the beginning of the game, I'm daring her to hit that line. Right? And if she gets one, I'm daring her again because her brain turned on. You know, I beat Bill down the line. The next three, if 2 of them go in, okay, I'm starting to make an adjustment. But if 3 of them go out, I'm going to let her keep trying it. This is where you're going to go from the game that you're at right now to the game you're going to play against the 4-0 plus players. Does any of that make sense? not everything I tell you is going to work for everybody in this room. All right? We have different abilities, we have different tendencies, we have different ways we like to play the game. Small adjustments will turn those 11-7, 11-9 games into your side wins. General rules, if anybody doesn't think that it's not fair if the two of us get to start up here and the two of you get to start back there, you're in the wrong spot. Because if we're both up here and you're both back there, we're going to win most of the time unless you learn how to do what you guys were doing, which is drop it in front of us. Because hitting it back and forth, is a really tough game to continuously win. Does that make sense? So over the next, I will tell you guys the same thing I told the beginner group. Because of the holiday, we are not here next Monday. All right. You are more than welcome. I'm going to send everybody an email with my contact information. Between now and the 2 weeks, you are more than welcome to come to Lifetime, jump in to their open play. I'll send you the schedule. You don't have to pay anything to do so. You can kind of see and get some more play in with different people. We can do some work over there before we come back here the next following Monday. It's a long time between, and we really haven't worked on anything specific. This has all been general. It'll give you an idea of kind of the difference of what starts to happen. I would ask you to do two things, is when you play between now and 2 weeks from now, is to only do two things different. Take the step back on your return, all right, and return deep in the middle. If you do those two things and do everything else the way you're doing it, I think you'll find out that you're going to win a couple more points than you have been winning. Does that make sense? If someone serves short and you don't get to it, it's a great serve. It won't be consistent. If they serve short and you do get to it, battle's halfway over because you're already up here. So let them serve short and get there. If they hit a hero shot, they hit a hero shot. They're far between the guy that constantly can hit that line because he's aiming at it. He misses by a quarter an inch, it's gone. Let him have it. I would tell you to let more balls go between now and the next 2 weeks, but I only want you to do one thing. You decide if you want to start letting them go. If you do, your game will change as well. But the first real thing is to back up on your return. Communicate with your partner. That's the other thing. Cool?
So question, if your person consistently hits in this area, right, and they don't hit it long or deep, do you still, because I feel like if I'm back here, then I'm setting myself up for failure if they consistently do that.
I think what you said is absolutely perfect.
Right.
Because what you said is, if I know how my opponent plays, do I adjust to that? Absolutely.
Okay.
So if I know, what's your first name?
Kathy.
Kathy's a tennis player. I know where her serve's generally going to go. It's going to come to my forehand because she's hitting across here. Yep. I haven't seen you serve a lot, but I guarantee you that's probably how you serve, right? Okay? If I know that, I'm cheating.
Right.
I'm actually moving over here a little bit because I know she's coming to my forehand.
Yep.
Right? If Ann serves short every time, absolutely. And then the hero shot becomes the one that the 1 out of 10 she does hit deep. So this is what this is all about, is adjusting to what's happening. But until you start thinking about what is my opponent doing, then we're stuck in a rut sitting back here. Most of the time, against people that I saw you play today, most of the time, they're not serving short on you. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about serving short on you because, honestly, I think you could get to most of them. The one ball that hits the line, again, it's a hero shot. Let them have them. Let them get excited about that hero shot. The one ball they hit by you and it hits the line, be excited for them. Right? Because their brain remembers it. That's why gambling addicts are gambling addicts. They won. People that lose at gambling first aren't gambling addicts. The people that go and win are gambling addicts. The people who hit a line on you on the first couple of points of a game, they keep going for it. I give it to them. When I play singles, I play a lot of singles, and honestly, I'm a better singles player than I am a doubles player. I'm 5th highest ranked singles player in the country in 2017. All right, because I could play against the 20-year-olds because they wanted to hit the lines. They hit one, they're excited. I keep baiting them. You know, it's only a couple inches. You're baiting them for that line. Out, 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 in. Out, 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 in. 51% is all I needed to win. At the level you're playing, you're not going to be winning 11-0. If you're winning 11-0, you are playing the wrong people. If you're losing 11-0, you're also playing the wrong people. And what I saw this morning was not 11-0 games very often. All right? And that's what I generally see at this level is pretty competitive games. You have to adjust when you're playing Ann. You may have to adjust when you're playing here. He may play a totally different game. When you go, if you guys are trying to get better and try to go out there and play tournaments, you're not playing against the same people. I know how Ann plays. I know how you play now because I've seen you play. You go play against somebody. That's why I invite you to come over to Lifetime or go to Pickle Shack or go to Pickle and Chill and play people you haven't played. It will take you 4 or 5 points to realize, okay, I'm playing against a tennis player. All right, I'm playing against a ping pong player. When you get there and you see someone hold their paddle like this, you can expect spin, right? I mean, because that's what's going to happen. When you go to warm up, are any of you playing tournaments now, or are any of you thinking about playing tournaments? Okay, when you go to a tournament, they give you time to warm up. When you come to open play and start to warm up, you know, everybody goes up and dinks. I generally only warm up half the time. I will take my partner, we'll go over here and we'll stand, and I'll watch them warm up. How they warm up is how they're going to play. If they're back here hitting really hard forehands, okay, I know how they're going to play. If they're up here hitting these fantastic cross-court dinks and they never miss, okay, I know how they're going to play too. So I have to start making some adjustments. If I find that I think there's a weaker player, you know, no one likes to hear it, but the honest thing is that, you know, when you get to the competitive side, there is targeting. You do want to go to the people's backhands. You know? When we're playing casual, no, I'm not lobbing Ann every time. All right? I'm not doing it. All right? Okay. But I'm also not putting the ball right here for Ann to smack it down on me either. I'm going to make it hard on her, but I'm going to be fair. And that's the beauty of pickleball is, you know, there's a lot. The percentage of buttholes in pickleball is very, very small compared to competitive other sports, especially competitive tennis. I mean, everybody tends to have a good time. And I think you guys are here to make your games last a little longer, to make them more competitive, you know, to maybe get out of that badminton style of play a little bit. You know, nothing wrong with it. Any other questions? Any answers?
Maybe you mentioned something about going to Lifetime at times and
I'm going to send you an email with my contact information. If you contact me and say, hey, I'd like to come up there, we have open play every single day. If you want to come up there and play against some different competition once, you know, the way I look at it is you also get to see the Lifetime facility. And, you know, if you like it, maybe you join. If not, I don't care. Same thing like Selkirk paddles. If you like them, I'll give you a discount code. You can buy them. They make their money. You know, eventually you're going to have 9 courts here. I want you to come here. In 2 months, there's going to be 17 courts in Worthington. I'd love you to come there too. But what I really want is you to get as much time. You've made an investment in your game. Play against some different people and kind of see how it does.
Where's the closest Lifetime?
Dublin is probably closest to you guys here. They have 3 courts. Easton has 6, and we've had them for longer. Dublin just opened, so it's really hard and it's full. At Easton, there's open play every single morning. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's 55 and over. So we call it the Aurora group. And the rest of the other 3 days is open play. We do split it by skill levels on the courts. So if you come in there, like tonight, Monday night is open play. We will have 3 courts of 4 or 5 plus going. You will see a totally different version of pickleball. Wednesday nights, if you wanted to come up and watch, we have the largest ladder league in Central Ohio. There's 50 people playing. All of it's 4 or 5 plus. It's really good pickleball. And then the rest of the time, the courts are open, and there's never a time that someone's not playing on those courts. But there's always enough courts that you can get into a game. Everybody's really cool. We have paddle racks set up. You come in, put your paddle in. You know, if there's more than 5 up, it's 4 on, 4 off. And it's like here. I came in this morning. Everybody, I'm sure everybody knew everybody this morning, but no one gave me a hard time about playing. I jumped in, I got to play. And that's how pickleball works.
So the open is all else.
It's all of- Did you talk about me? Yes. Right now, you guys want to come, but it won't cost you anything. If you are on a Medicare supplement, Silver Sneakers, so if you're over 65, it's also free. There's no charge for it. Memberships run from like $99 to $179, depending on how much of the club you want. Again, I'm not saying it's the best deal in pickleball right now, because there's also Pickle Shack, and I know those guys. They're great people. There's a great coach there, Dave Seckel, one of the first 5-0s in Ohio. Great kid. I mean, he's not a kid anymore, but you know, he was great. He's much younger than me. He's a great player. Pickle Shack up in Delaware, which is probably as close as anything for you guys. Patty and Peggy, you know, there's great people up there. I do certifications for coaches all over Ohio, and there's great people up there. So just sometimes you play the same people all the time. You get the same game. Adding a little variety to that gives you an idea of kind of what's going on out there. That's it. That's my pitch today. I took you over. 2 weeks from it. Nobody's in the Friday group. Got you got it. You're ahead of the game. Yes, ma'am. All right. So we will be here Friday. We just won't be here next Monday because they're closed. The center's closed for the holiday. And as far as I know, what happens next year?
We have
Play.
to play again.
Go.
1:30.
Unless they throw you out. I said go play.
We're not
Oh.
allowed to play till 1:20.
Oh.
20 where they give us the balls.
Although we got 2 of them right here.
Right.
Can anybody reach that clock?
Tim's early.
We say it's still a part of our lesson, right?
All right, you know what? I'm going to be here for a couple of minutes. If you want to start playing, as long as they don't holler at us, go.
We'll play.
I'll pull the net. Tell Darcy it was me. Said Bill wanted to see us play a little bit.
He kept us long today.
Yeah. I'll go tell him I said you could play. See if that does anything for any of us. So technically I'm done with them. Can I go ahead and let them start playing for the 1:30 stuff? I closed it up so they could start playing because I was watching them at the end of the lesson.
Oh, you have lessons.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise they're going to sit on the chairs until 1:30.
How many people? Oh, so most of them are probably playing in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just let.
Thanks.
Whatever. They were probably gonna play anyways.
Actually, you know what? To be honest with you, most of them said we're not really allowed till 1:20, and I said let me go check.
Yeah,
So,
usually it's because we don't want them.
They're already here.
all right.
They're already here.
Make sure that on their way out that they've checked in with us.
Gotcha. Oh, pardon me. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
See you next time.
All right, so here's the deal. If you promise when you are done playing to check out with them, you can play right now till whenever you're normally done. Just make sure that you check in so they get their little records of how many people were here.
I request
right.
Okay, go ahead and play.
Play.